Welcome back to King 80%, and this will be the guide for King's Roost. This first playthrough will have some slightly different options than what I show off in the latter half of the video, and I'll go back over the differences in rooms in the second half of the video. The heavy purple gold armor in this room is kind of random, whether or not he hits you, so sometimes you'll end up going through like this and you won't take any damage. Getting through damageless is great because the boss fight is super risky and annoying. If you did take damage, there's a turkey coming up, and from here on out you shouldn't be taking damage for the rest of the level. So it's faster to heal here than to grab the turkey that's right before the boss fight. Try not to fall down doing that particular battery bash. There's not actually a way to get ahead of the cycles in this room, so don't worry about rushing. One of the runners, Luki, did find a pixel and frame perfect way to slip through some of the blocks, but that's obviously not super run friendly. And for this long room of lowering murder blocks, I would just say do not overestimate how far you can go. Falling just short of landing on one of the blocks is a good way to feel incredibly sad and lose a bunch of time. As we approach the King Birder fight, I just want to start by saying the beginning of the fight is fairly consistent, so do practice that. The rest of the fight is still a work in progress. You should be able to manipulate him with this damage and avoid this laser, which is randomly up or down, to get him into this corner so you can wail on him like this. But being able to get a good finish has proven to be incredibly difficult. I'll show off a more ideal fight later on, but I want everyone to take away what you're trying to do toward the end of the fight to be able to finish him off properly. So a quick review of the level and some alternate strats we can go for. Doing a Carter jump in the first room is a little bit faster, although it is tricky, and you definitely don't want to mess it up. Like I mentioned before, sometimes this heavy purple gold armor can actually come back and attack. Since you're waiting for your battery brigandine to charge up, if he does attack you, it's not that huge of a consequence, just a slight time loss. More importantly, you're trying to get an immediate jump into the downward battery bash so that you can hit the stone blocks instead of hitting the purple gold armor. Getting this health pickup requires you to stay in place for just a brief moment, so just keep in mind that while you're waiting here, these birders are going to wake up and they could get in your way. Don't make this turncoat use any harder than it needs to be. Just bash, get on top of this platform, activate your turncoat, roll a couple times, and as soon as you get contact with any of the fish, release, fire the flame, and it should destroy all of them. Now the fight with birder is going to require some very precise positioning at the beginning. I find that it's easier to start with a damage boost, so you're going to jump in the air and roll at him early so that in the recoil you're actually going to get hit from his body. This means you'll have iframes so you can set up more comfortably the way you have to fire your turncoat at him. As soon as he bounces off the corner, he's going to fire a laser, and you want to be partially in his body to get the contact to charge up the turncoat, but then also be hit by the laser. And the turncoat flames need to hit birder, and they don't activate until they basically reach where King Knight withstood. From here, you're going to be rushing to the other side of the screen, and the laser will either go up or down. So make sure you practice so that you get a feel for how to avoid both shots. If it goes down, it helps to jump a little bit early so you can hang in the air longer, and it'll just bounce harmlessly underneath you. The up laser forces me to hang in the air a little bit longer to make sure it's out of the way before I actually start attacking birder. Once you let go of the battery bash, you need to start timing your attacks, so make sure you're doing this rhythmically. After certain amounts of damage taken, birder's going to heal, so just worry about how many hits you're doing to him. After releasing battery bash into bounce, you're going to be doing bash bounce 8 times. Lean into him as you are getting pushed out for that last bash and bounce. At this point, you're no longer going to be close enough to the ceiling to continue bashing and bouncing at him. Start moving to the left, and you should get 3 more bounces on him. If you whiff with this charge bash, it's actually okay, because at this point you're now going to start paying attention to his health. You want him to have no more than 3 damage left before you would kill him. Now to finish him, you either need him in a ceiling, or you need to hit the very bottom of his sprite. Because he started swaying to the top right, I jump off this pillar, and then I start bashing him as he's bouncing downwards, and I actually get stuck underneath the other birder block so I can finish him off. Getting this exact fight is not super likely, so just focus on being able to get the intro correctly. So you start with a roll into his face, take damage, turncoat, roll to the right, get your battery charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Follow him to the left, pay attention to his health, look for an opening, and try to finish him off. This fight is a bit of the leftovers of when I used to run the Scepter route, but that runner I mentioned earlier, Luki, actually was hoping to find a way to do this fight with the Turncoat. and he actually improved the fight from that point. Previously, we were only getting 4 bashes and bounces in the top right corner, and he doubled that amount. So that takes care of World 3, and this will also be your last opportunity to reasonably purchase more health if you so desire. I would like to say that the last world is short and sweet, but there are some not so great things coming up, starting with Shrouded Spires. So see you next time. Thanks for watching.